let's start. السلام عليكم. نرحب فيكم في هذه الجلسة النقاشية لنتائج النصف الأول من هذا العام 2022 لشركة صلالة لخدمات الموانئ ميناء صلالة. طبعا العرض بيكون بالإنجليزي، على هذا الأساس أنا بحول اللغة الإنجليزية، فإذا حد عنده أي استفسار فممكن يتكلم باللغة العربية وراح يتم الترجمة. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to welcome you to this discussion session, our first discussion session of for the first half of this year for Salalah Port Services, Port of Salalah. This session, the agenda will give you like a brief introduction about the port, maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll hand it over to our financial guys to give a brief about our financial status for the first 6 months. Before I start, I would like to introduce our team. Myself, Mohammed Al-Mashini, I'm the Chief Corporate Affairs Officer of Port of Salalah. Also, I have Bart van de Graaf, he's our CFO, and Shwani Jaham from Audit, Sonil Joseph, our Chief Commercial Officer, Jamila Salim from our Commercial Department, Mohammed Bawzir from our Finance Department, as well as Iman Shahri, she's our Board Secretary and our Legal Counselor. So I will start now with the presentation about the port. Next. So we'll start with our vision. Definitely our vision is to lead the region as the customer port of choice for trade in Oman and as well as in the world. Definitely with the vision we have missions. The first one is to provide sufficient and reliable services to our customers, which is at our most. And then definitely to have to offer a safe and inspiring work to work. So we are taking care and putting the safety as our first priority, and it is also our part. It's part of our how we are doing businesses. The other one is to contribute to the local society for the Sultanate of Oman as a whole, and at the end to deliver our shareholders a sustainable and profitable growth. To give you a brief about Port of Salalah, we started our operations in 1998, as we are doing this session because we are a public listed company. And we are also the largest employer in Dhofar. We have more than 2,600 employees. And we have a concession agreement with the government for 30 years. And we are a multi-purpose port. So we have a container terminal, a general cargo terminal. If you look into our shareholders, we have the largest, the biggest one is, the biggest shareholder is ABM Terminals, which own 30%. ABM Terminals is part of the Maersk Group, and it operates more than 74 ports around the world, and it operates in more than 40 countries around the world. The second largest is our government pension funds, which owns 23%, followed by Asyad Group. Asyad Group is a government company looking after the logistics sector, and it is part of the Oman Investment Authority. 19% is institutional investors, as well as 8% for the local individuals as well company. Next, Jamila. This is like our history, as most of you know that before the formation of Port of Salalah, the port used to be called Raisut Port, and it started in the early 70s, where the government built like a small conventional port, mainly to cater for the dhows that is coming from East Africa, India subcontinent, as well as the North Arabian Gulf. And then in 1997, Salalah Port Services was formed, and then they started construction to build the first 4 berths in the container terminal, from berth 1 to 4, as well as berth 30 and 31. Later on, as we moved on, we even our capacity came into its full. Then the company decided to add another 2 berths, and that was ended in 2008. So we added like berth 5 and 6 with a depth of 18 meters. With that, also we constructed the southern breakwater. As we moved on from this is like in the container side and the general cargo side. There was a lot of improvement actually in terms of getting out of the bulk that we are handling. It moved from 2 million in up to 6 million, 7 million. And that was, there is a need for another additional berth. And that's why we constructed another 1.2 kilometers of berths, 600 meters for the general cargo and 600 meters for the liquid berth to cater for the companies in our neighboring Salalah free zone. Next, Jamila. So this is like in a snapshot our port. So we have a container terminal as well as the general cargo terminal. So the total of container terminal is almost 2.2 kilometers, and general cargo is 2.6, and liquid berth is almost 666. So next, Jamila, because we need just to speed up. So this is like one of the milestones that we achieved. We ranked the number second as the most efficient gateway in the world. This is based on the Container Port Performance Index for 2021. And if we look into the higher, like the bigger ports that handles more than 4 million, we are number one actually. And this is also part of our recognized achievement. We are number one with the largest exporter of gypsum, raw gypsum. We export around 9 million a year, and also we are number 45 in the top list of Lloyd's 100 ports in the world. We are number 2, as mentioned, of most efficient, and also number 1 in the container port globally. Yeah, as I mentioned, more than 4 millions. This is like the introduction, and now I will hand it over to Bart to give the financial performance in the port. To you, Bart.
Thank you, Mohammed. So let me take you through the financial performance of the first half of the year 2022 compared to the first half of the year of last year, 2021. So if you look at our revenue, we saw that revenue was up by 7%, and this was driven by a slight increase in volumes and also some new tariffs. So volumes, if we look into the container side, we saw growth of 3%. And on the general cargo side, we saw a slight increase of 1%. And then on tariffs, we agreed with our main customer Maersk on a new TSA, new contract last year, 1st of September, which increased our tariffs by approximately 4%. And then we applied new tariffs for marine per the 1st of January of this year. So that resulted in a higher revenue, an increased revenue. If we look at our direct operating cost, then we see a significant increase of 14%. And of course, a big increase is due to the energy inflation. We follow the world market for our diesel price. So diesel increased significantly. And then a temporary staff cost increase due to an insourcing initiative where we insourced some outsourced labor. And then we had a dock overhauling at the beginning of this year on the marine side. If we then look at our other operating cost, SG&A and other income, there we see a slight increase of around 4%. This is due to the BP tank farm asset acquisition we did begin this year, or actually agreed end of last year. And then we see an increase in our management fees due to the increased revenue and tonnage on the GCT side. And then we see some additional provisions versus last year. So in the end, net profit, 1.4 million. So significantly below last year. Last year was 2.6 million. And so that gives us a basic earning per share of 8 Omani Riyal. We then move to the next slide. And we look at some key ratios. So on the P&L side, we see a margin erosion due to, I would say, in general, the higher energy prices and some additional maintenance and repair cost. If we then look at the key ratios on our balance sheet, so the current ratio, the quick ratio, and the cash ratio, I think, we still have a great balance sheet, very strong. The company is debt-free. And as you can see on the cash ratio, our cash balance covers all our current liabilities. So yeah, a good balance sheet. So net assets per share at 400 Omani Riyal. Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Over to you. Any questions? Mohammed, you're on mute.
Okay, thanks, Bart. We have one guest only, so MTUS Oman. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, if no other questions, then we can have an end to this. So do you have any question? no response. So I think no question. So with that,
just make sure that he's not muted, or just give a few moments.
we'll give him another. So
yeah.
السلام عليكم. إذا عندك عندنا ضيف واحد اللي هو MTUS عمان. إذا عندك أي أسئلة تفضل، لأن إذا ما في أسئلة أنت الضيف الوحيد، يعني بنسوي يعني نخلص النقاش. فما أعرف كيف، عندك شيء أسئلة؟ No response. So with this, we concluded our session. So thank you guys for attending, and hope to see you in the next session at the end of the year, inshallah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.